Yo, what up? It's Hollywood Unlocked with Jason Lee Uncensored. I'm Jason Lee.
I'm Blue Talusma.
Hey, it's DJ Damage.
All right, so we just gonna jump right in here and light the internet up because you know I got my favorite free Jason Lee sweater
Free
on.
What are
him.
you wearing, Jason? What are you wearing?
Free that
Listen,
man.
although it is not available for sale, I will have to say neither am I. You know that I've been going through a battle with a network that I'm not going to talk about because they acted real wild and out here, baby. And I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't no more love in hip hop over here. But I've been trying to get out of my contract. So after my Instagram post, baby, that was from the show that we had done before. If you missed all of that, I'm going to play just a little bit for you right here. Take a look. Viacom does not want to let me out my contract. We have not shot Love and Hip Hop in over a year because of the pandemic, and there's no future because I have no pickup notice. So they just kind of got me hanging around the house while they tell us niggas to hold on. And I don't know what the status of Wild 'N Out is because Nick Cannon still hasn't told us that we have a job. So at this point, Viacom, let me the fuck out of my contract. I'm trying to ask you one more time in a very nice way to let me the fuck out. And I'm not going to beg you. Well,
Free Jason Lee.
Blue, you started this movement of hashtag free Jason Lee. And now
Free Jason Lee.
The network that I wasn't going to mention, I can't say their names. They now have changed their restrictions on Instagram because everybody was hashtagging them free Jason Lee, and now you can't leave a comment on the Instagram no more. But the good news is I got a phone call that they are going to be releasing me from my contract.
He's
Yay!
free.
You
How
are
do
the
you feel as the
Harriet
free
Tubman.
man?
Harriet
Free at
Tubman
last.
has nothing on you, Jason Lee.
Free at last.
The Harriet Tubman of reality TV. That would be
Yes.
me. But you know what? I say that to say a lot of people had called me and warned me saying, don't do that. You're going to get blackballed. You're going to get this. You're going to get canceled. And I just want to say to people, remember one thing. Ownership is the new black. When you own you can't be canceled. So I keep trying to tell people, what can you cancel? They're not going to turn the lights off at Hollywood Unlocked. I'm good and we're good. And so I just want people to start taking that one step to stand up for themselves because people prey on weakness, man, and they want to see people be submissive and they want to see people be controlled. And I'm sorry, I'm just never going to be that guy. So I just wanted to share the good news with you guys.
Jason Lee is free. So now that you're free, are you open to working with them in any capacity or that's done?
Yes, I'm free, but I'm expensive as hell, baby. I'm open for business. I'm open for business. Like I said, it was never about disrespecting anybody. I love all of our partners and I love anybody I've ever worked with. But when you do business, you got to do good business because I'm going to always show up. I'm going to always show up on time. I'm going to always show up prepared. I'm going to always bring 110%. You got to show up and at least bring 100%. So, for me, I think it's just a lesson. But I was so surprised that most of the people that called me to tell me that I shouldn't have done all that were black people. And I'm like, yo, y'all have been conditioned to be house niggas. And it's so sad. And I'm really sorry for all of you, but I don't think like that. I think like a boss. But speaking of courage, the guest that we have today, Jessica White, supermodel, who's been very successful in the industry, walked away, allegedly retired, and just recently found out that her boyfriend of 6 years, Nick Cannon, one of my bosses, had a whole other baby with another woman, found out about it on Instagram. And so I had to reach out to her after I saw her post to see if we could get her on the show to talk about it. Did you guys see it?
Yeah, I've seen what happened out there. I can't say I didn't see what happened. I seen what was going on, and it's good to actually speak with the woman herself to actually get the lowdown on what's going on because it's all we just see on social media. Really don't know what's actually happening, right?
I just want to say that I love Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, if you see this, I love you. I just, I'm a woman, and so I had to have her back. I have to have her back.
Well, and if Nick Cannon, if you see this, I'm going to be hiding from my phone because you know how much love I have for you, but you're in the business. So you also understand that we have a job to do. And so this is less about me trying to find dirt on Nick Cannon and me wanting to elevate a woman's voice who seemed like nobody else was defending her or giving her a platform or the space to share her experience. And so, as we did with Sarah Molina and Takashi with the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation, I wanted to create an opportunity for my friend Jessica White to share what happened from her point of view. And we will be reaching out to you, Nick, to invite you on the show. In fact, now I'm reaching out to you now. Come on the show so we can hear your
Please
point of view, because
come.
Nick is a solid guy, but everybody has a flaw. And so in this conversation, we'll see what she has to say. So let's get to it. All right, so Jessica White, we're here at the Levels to the Game house. And I guess there's levels to this game because you haven't done an interview in 5 years and you're sitting down with us.
I know. I'm kind of nervous.
Why?
Because I hate interviews. And now I don't like them.
Why?
I've become a bit of a recluse.
But why is that? I mean, you're a supermodel. You've walked on the runways in front of a lot of people.
I think it's because I grew up in front of the cameras since I was 12, you know. You reach a place in your life where you just enjoy the normalities of life. And, you know, having people interview me is just not a part of that anymore.
We live in the world of clout now where everybody wants to be interviewed or talked about. And you've been a supermodel and you've, you know, lived in the era of magazines and you know, news shows talking about you. What is it that makes you want to stay private?
Not having privacy, and when you actually understand the values of, you know, intimate relationships, you value that more. You put more, you know, protection over it. So it's not something that I really like to share. And because I've gone through so much with the public and people having their own opinions, I prefer just to disassociate so that Jessica can continue being healthy and disassociate my public image from what reality truly is.
So Jessica's been on the show before, but you were on as a co-host.
Yes, I like interviewing versus being interviewed.
But you were. We talked at the time. I think I was trying to weave you in a box with Angelina Jolie and with the whole blood of your ex thing. Is that over? Have you buried that?
Yeah, she's gone.
I'm so happy for that because blood work it binds you. Yeah.
Well, you both are witchy, so you both kind of have that
We're
in
both
common.
Metaphysical, yes.
So, do you want to explain your witchcraft versus her?
There's no such thing. Don't put that on me.
Oh. Well,
yeah,
I love you.
I'm not asking you to. I'm not asking you to pull your potion out and like throw it at her.
Alakazam! It's not Harry Potter, the House of Slytherin. Jason. I was curious because over the summer, I saw a series of really like heartfelt, like Instagram posts from you. And so when I see you write on Instagram, you're actually very authentic, and Instagram is not known for that. So for someone who's so private, what makes you feel like you can be so open with the public when you do speak to us?
Well, because when I do speak, it's coming from a pure place. You know, everything. I'm not going to speak if I'm not going to speak the truth. I've always been known for being extremely honest and very blunt about the things that I've said. I mean, I've probably said too much at certain points in my life. So for me, when I do speak, I prefer to just speak about love, spirituality, things of that sort. So I think people come to my page for certain reasons, like encouragement. And I'm very honest about it because I love who I am and I love my journey of which it took me to become the person that I am.
So you could be an influencer then.
No, I could just be.
You could be an influencer.
I could just be a spiritual soul, not really attached to my earthly body, and just here to make sure that the message of love and hope is still out there.
With a hashtag and an ad, maybe?
No.
Okay. That's beautiful that you're doing it for
you know, that, but it's because it's me. It's authentically just me. I don't get paid for any of those things. You know.
No.
It's just something I feel.
Let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. How do you feel about Instagram models?
I mean, being that you're a supermodel and then now like a girl can show her ass on OnlyFans and blow up on Instagram and become a Instagram model.
No shade, no tea.
Well, we're being honest right now.
Let me tell you something. I come from an era where a great work ethic was you had to have a great work ethic. You had to have a tremendous amount of resilience, and beauty was definitely a standard. But there was a lot of hard work in traveling. I left home at 12 years old. I lived in Europe until I was 19. So it took me away from everything that I knew, but I was okay with that because that's all we knew. We come from an era where you had to work. You weren't going to be called a supermodel just because you became viral. Like, we had to work for that. There was no, social media at this time. So everything was more on, you had to have more personal relationships. But I do feel like with growth, social media has allowed young girls a platform to be able to create a career for themselves, and they're making millions of dollars. So why not do that? I'm not going to say I believe that. And when growing up, I truly have learned you work hard. You don't work hard. You work smart. Right. And I think they're working smart.
Or aren't they watering it down though? Do you think they're watering down the industry?
This is just where the world is. It's the climate. You have to move with the times.
That's very gracious.
But what about whereas like Elle magazine and Vogue and all that used to be dominated by just supermodels or people in the model industry? Now it's the Kim Kardashians or the people that are super famous on the covers, and that business is changing. What do you think about that?
It's the same thing. It's the same dynamic. But everything is changing. The music industry has changed. The entertainment as a whole is different. And that is just the space because everything is digital.
But you don't feel like protect the supermodel like an endangered species?
No, not at all.
No, because I'm
really
thinking
don't.
like,
I really don't.
Supermodels.
I think it's an era where it's giving people a platform to be able to start a career and do something better for themselves. A lot of supermodels they come from family members who are already famous. I think that's a dynamic of its own. But that isn't to discredit these girls and the fact that they work hard. I know what it's like to be a model, and I know how intense that is. So if you're able to be successful, especially right now, and you're able to do that and still have a great work ethic, I say go for it.
Well, let's talk about that, because you say how intense it is, and I feel like a lot of people, when they look at modeling, especially from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, you just stand there and take some pictures. So what all goes into it to make it difficult?
Well, for instance, I shot my first cover of Sports Illustrated with 103 fever with food poisoning.
Flex.
I had a bucket and some water, and we were shooting in very hot heat that day. I didn't complain. You know, I shot through losing a father on set. I found out through text. I had to finish my job. You can't disassociate the fact that these girls are going through real life problems. They're separated from their family from a very young age, and they're traveling around the world, and so the people in your set become your family. You don't know these people. It puts you in a very vulnerable and a very fragile space. I think the strongest women and the most intelligent women are women who are able to make it in fashion. Because they don't ask your opinion. So you have to act your way through it. It's hard, especially from a little rebel that I was when I was growing up, you know?
Past tense?
I was just like, oh, very much so. Now I don't even put myself in the environment where I have to speak once.
So Tyra and Naomi were like the first bad girls club of the modeling industry. You know, they were notorious for having catty fights. Did you ever have any experience with any other supermodels who mistreated you or were mean?
Oh, did you have beef?
You?
I'm not going to go there.
Why not?
Oh, that's a yes.
Because it's not important.
It was Tyra.
No, Tyra.
That's how rumors get started.
Oh my God!
It was, matter of fact, it was Naomi.
I love all women. I think that it's a really competitive environment.
Wow, there was so much.
And
but competition doesn't mean that it needs to be mean or shady or disrespectful, right?
Well, a lot of it came from Caucasians. I had more.
Claudia Schiffer.
Because
you're just gonna keep on throwing out.
Kate Moss, I met her.
No, you'd be surprised. Actually, I've got along with a lot of. It wasn't the African American girls at all.
So I know I've been really big recently about like the interracism in television and like the disparities for people of color as creators, as people who participate in shows on TV. When you talk about some of the white models that you had some challenges with, was there a lot of racism or discrimination or barriers that you felt were put in place for models of color?
Karens of modeling.
You know what? For me, I just noticed that I was the only black person on set. So I was like the token black girl. So that was something that was very apparent to me. And it was just like, why not more? Why can't we have more? I believe they're trying to get better at that, but that's something that still plagues the fashion industry. And I mean, just even in acting, it's like that one token black girl. You can't have more than one. That's the unfortunate part about the business that we're in, and that's where Hollywood needs to actually work on that. I mean, I think that's where a lot of competition or necessary things come up because you feel like there only can be one of you at the table. For me, I've always been in competition with Jessica, and most importantly, because I could do the stuff in my sleep. The bigger problem for me was, controlling my personal life and making sure that didn't interact or cross with my career. But my problem wasn't keeping people offset. And me, I believe that if I can have it, then everybody can have it. More the merrier. I'm just not a jealous person.
Now, you don't smoke weed.
No.
You don't.
People think I'm a stoner.
Shame.
They really
there's
do.
There's nothing wrong with it, though, if you are a stoner.
No, but the reason why I asked the question is because recently we were together and you remember the joke that you cracked? where we talked about something didn't look right, and you were like, I don't want to even post this because I don't want people to think that I've relapsed or that I'm doing
Right.
drugs.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Because you were talking about your I was laughing at your your Scarface video. I thought that was. I was like,
Oh,
that was so fitting for you.
so I posted a Scarface. A friend of mine took this face app, put my face on Scarface.
I
He
saw
had
it.
cocaine right
It was
here.
a lot, Jason.
And
It was so funny. It's
It was
from
a lot.
Reface.
and she told me that it was so funny and that she didn't want to post it because then, even though it would be a joke, people would then try to attribute it to
Right.
having challenges with.
Good call.
Right.
Good
So
call.
where does that level of awareness go? Is it what you've been through with that challenge? And
No, it's being very active now on social media and
Mhm.
seeing like the certain comments and stuff like that. So I just pick and choose my battles.
Mhm. And so with the you didn't have a challenge with drugs before, right?
Well, in my early 20s, I dabbled and dabbled with it, but I was such an open person. I started this Angel Wings Foundation charity, and it was for young girls who have been sexually abused or, women who have been in domestic violence situations. And we basically team up with, like, if a woman was arrested for prostitution, what we would do instead of putting her in prison, they would call us and we would basically create a haven house to rehabilitate and make these women active citizens in their community again.
Wow.
And I've raised millions of dollars for this. I named it after myself, the Angel Wings Foundation. And I talked about why I started it, because my sisters dealt with domestic violence, and I too was a victim of sexual abuse when I was very young. And I talked about why I kind of like decided to start having fun in my 20s, coming from being a preacher's kid. And,
Did it come from the domestic violence relationship?
It came from just a major amount of depression and not dealing with that and not feeling like I could because I didn't have the time to. I was at the height of my career. I don't have time to be a victim now. I just need to go and make this money. And I'm the breadwinner of my family. So it was like
pressure,
just do what you have to do. And I got clean when I talked about it. And I just like cleaned up my act. And I spoke about it. But I didn't know a testimony that I was using for positive
would help so many other people.
that would help people
Yeah.
would then again turn on me, and then people would use it to be mean and,
Yeah.
and
Is that what
evil.
happened?
And that's exactly what happened.
Why-
And for
why-
me, that was a very pivotal moment in my life of understanding you have a message and you do want to help people, but there's a certain amount that you can share with people because I believe in energy. Certain people just travel with certain energies, and I tend
I agree.
to,
I
attract
know
a
that.
lot more than most people.
But is
do.
that what was that the impetus for privacy then? Like having that experience?
Absolutely. You become protective of yourself. And then learning how to create ways to still keep a space open for, the divine, the spirit to use you and be an encouragement. But I don't believe that it's overexposing yourself in the process because people use those things
But
against
isn't
you.
that interesting? Because Robert Downey Jr. can have like a very public battle with
But he's
heroin.
also,
A white man?
but he's
No,
also white.
that's what I was
And I'm
about
a
to
black
say.
woman. I'm a double minority.
Yeah,
And people, I guess they didn't feel sorry for me.
yeah. But that's just, I wanted to highlight that because that's the thing that kind of, when he's a man.
And it
too.
was,
Yeah,
and to
he's
be
applauded
honest
for
with
it.
you, it was people of, my own skin tone.
Really?
Yeah.
Like who? Did he?
Black people.
Andre Harrell?
African Americans, people that we're hard on each other, and I don't think that's a conversation that we care to really talk about in
Yeah.
our culture.
Yeah, I think most oppressed people tend to be really hard on each other because they don't want to be embarrassed in front of the mainstream. It's like a PTSD that happens culturally. So it's like if you're if you're gay, right? That's why a lot of gay people want to dress really well because society already thinks less of them. So I'm gonna be flyer than you, so now you have to love me.
Not me. I wore this yesterday.
You know what, Jason?
Well, look, I run around like a little fairy, so I don't.
You're a supermodel. I think you're fine.
But you talk about angel wings, and we were talking about the change of the industry. And I was recently out shopping and saw this line. It was like almost like a going out of business line for Victoria's Secret. And you were one of the angels. When you think about that, isn't that kind of crazy? The Victoria's Secret going out of business, or the angel show like disappearing?
It's hurtful because I know that's one of your dreams for like young girls. What are they gonna do? Like that was the Super Bowl for models.
Mm-hmm.
Getting your wings and
Now there's
doing that
Fenty.
Victoria's Secret
Now
show.
you got Fashion Nova.
That's true.
The Savage by Rihanna.
But like I said, all things must come to an end.
Really? But when you got your wings, what was that process like? And how did you get notified? And then when you're walking, do you feel like you're walking for other Black girls?
I felt like I was walking for the women in my family more than anything. I carry like a crown, and I know that I was specifically chosen to do a lot for the women in my family and break generational curses. So it was more so not I'm doing this for the collective, but more so doing this for my family, my grandmother always wanted me to do that show, and it was right after I got my wings right after she passed. So
Oh, that's powerful.
yeah, so that was really sweet.
So I never get to dig into your personal business, your personal relationships. I mean, I could, but like when we're hanging out, I
Jason.
just don't do that. Now, when we were preparing for today, I personally didn't even know that you dated Sean Penn. This was pretty a long time ago. A pretty long time ago. Now, let me ask you, were you guys ever hanging around like playing Madonna, or was that like there were certain things on the playlist
Petty.
that could not be played?
No. I'm very. I love my exes. Like even with Nick, I loved Mariah. Like I play her.
Oh, we're going there. Okay.
No, it's true, but
That's
I'm
beautiful.
just not a hater. I love women. I love, like, if you're an artist and you're very talented, why would I hate you?
But you've had so many different type of relationships. So I wanted to cut out pictures of them all and like put them on a board
Like a
and
serial
try to
killer?
look at it like,
Yeah.
what is the DNA that attracts Jessica White to these men?
They're all very intelligent. And it's something that I love more than anything is when a male counterpart can teach me something new. I learned something new from every last one of my lovers.
Lovers.
Like how she said, lover.
Lover. I'm gonna start using that. That's not my old side piece. That's my lover.
So you brought up Nick Cannon. I didn't bring
We
it up, but
didn't
since
bring
we're
it
there,
up.
what a
Did you
segue.
get that name? I didn't-
I felt that somebody dropped a Nick
Somebody said
somewhere.
it.
Yeah.
It just dropped right in
Fell
our
from the
lap. So
sky.
when I got to Wildin' Out season 10, you were, I think, the opener at season 9 and maybe even season 8. You were running and he was chasing you. And at some point between season 9 and 10, he caught you. But what I didn't know is that you all had been together, like in each other's lives for a lot longer than season 8.
Yeah, for years. Absolutely. We were friends first.
And how did I not know that? And I'm a
How'd
purveyor
you
of
keep it a
people's...
secret from him?
That's what I'm saying. I'm a purveyor
Because
of
I'm
people's
really
business.
private. And that was entering that phase where I was very, very, like, becoming even more, like, I'm not going out to the clubs. People wouldn't see me. Like, we managed to keep it under wraps.
So how did you meet? Like was it through friends?
We
Was it...
met when he was DJing one night at a club. And this was back in, like, 2008.
The music got you.
No.
Just
We
trying to figure it
didn't
out.
They were just like, is
we
that
didn't
what
actually
they-
become romantic until after his divorce, when he was starting to go through the divorce.
And then, so you started dating, and you started dating privately. And was that a collective?
Well, it wasn't too private because I remember someone took a picture of us shopping at a grocery store and they sold it to like E or something. So it wasn't too private, but we just protected it and didn't really speak about it too much.
But that's what I meant. You all didn't come out and affirm that it was happening. Even picture here or there, can't control that. But what was it a collective choice to keep it private?
It was something that we just chose to do. Yeah, we didn't really talk too much about it. I mean, I went to a few events with him. It's just that we didn't do red carpets and stuff together. We knew how to like still exist, but then, what wasn't spoke about, we didn't. As long as we didn't confirm anything. You don't have anything to talk about.
That's kind of hot. I like that. I'm sorry. I think that's a great tactic. I'm gonna start doing that. Come in through the back door. I'll come through the front. I love this.
I'm gonna start doing the reverse. I'm gonna start walking the red carpet with people and letting them think whatever they want. Every day, a different person.
Listen, you got the wrong thing from that story, but it's okay.
So you both are interesting because you both give very calm, soothing energy, but then also there's like this shadow of highly sexual tension.
That's what you picked up?
That's what you
I'm
got?
trying to think of the question here.
Did you get aroused?
He just stated a fact.
He got aroused.
No, I mean you're you know what I'm saying.
You're both sexy.
You're
That's
both
your question?
they're both very sexy, but they also have very sexual energy. How was that?
Oh my God, face it.
That's the question.
I mean, just like because when
so sexy. How
when you
was it?
have two calm
We know how
people
sex works.
that have this kind of sexual
and
vibe,
then they say,
and then they get together. It's like 4th of July, you know?
He just turned on. Okay, yes.
No, we're not talking about this.
It's uncensored.
Okay. So, well, something kept you around for a while. You were there for 6 years, right?
Love kept me.
Jason,
Yeah,
that's
but
not
I've
what
been
she was
having this
thinking.
whole debate with Tiffany Haddish about micro penises and how annoying
Oh
they
my
are.
God, we're back to this.
You know,
Okay.
and I always joke. I think I interviewed Nick and I told him he had 9 inches or something like that. But either way, that's not my point. I don't even know where I'm going with that. My point
I
is
looked at her
that
face to see if she twitched
is
when
it
you said
love
that.
that kept you all together, or was it the sex, the
I
love,
don't know, Jason.
the friendship?
What did you hear? Because you were running the same circle. What did you
You know,
hear?
one thing I will say about you, you are very private. You do a great job of keeping your business private. For real. I mean, I did hear that, and I know as people around the relationship that like you were like the love of his life, or you all loved each other deeply, and it was a serious thing. It wasn't a sexual hookup thing. It wasn't
No, it
a
was
fling. It was
years.
like a real
Almost
relationship.
6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had unconditional love for each other, and we were friends. When you have a really close friendship with a person, you just know each other, and you kind of have an understanding of how things are going to move and how you position yourselves. He understood me and my craziness, and I understood his, and we just meshed. We got along well, and we were actually in a really good space before it ended.
Were you in love with him?
Absolutely.
Was he in love with you?
Yes.
Oh.
Are you still in love with him?
No.
Wow.
Those soul ties have been severed for sure.
Okay.
And I know what we saw on Instagram. There was, which again, you are very private, but you did reclaim your life to your own, and that you weren't sharing it with him anymore because he had recently had it'd been discovered they had a kid with Brittany Bell, another kid, second kid.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't aware that she was pregnant?
No, but she was aware that I had just had a miscarriage
2
weeks prior to her news coming out, because he told me that he told her. And I was living at his house, and she knew that as well. But I found out on Instagram along with the rest of the world.
And
Wow.
did you feel betrayal at that point?
I felt a lot of things, which I won't even relive. Because you have to remember, I was going through still my hormonal changes, and we were about to start in vitro. So when I came out, people thought like, oh, I was this homewrecker. No, there was a real life going on. I was bullied for months with that whole situation because I was still trying to be nice about it. And like, I didn't break up. We didn't break up right away. We were actually still trying to, work things out. He was with me for my birthday. Like, it wasn't until I went home to New Orleans to visit family where I had to ask myself some heavy duty questions, like definitively, Angel, is this something that you feel like you can handle? Can you stay here and deal with this? And the answer ended up being no.
Did he protect you at all? Because I would feel like if someone was attacking me, that I'd want my partner.
I told him,
to clarify.
we actually spoke about it maybe 3 weeks ago when he said he was going to right his wrongs and say something. He has yet to do that. So, I think he's a man of his word, and he eventually will in his own time.
But that has to be incredibly painful.
It is, very much so. And I expressed that to him
imagine.
as well.
As a woman, I can't even imagine having the man that I was trying to have a baby with not defend me publicly.
He should have, but he said he will, so I believe that.
What was the biggest betrayal? Was it the fact that he was having a kid with this woman, or the fact that he didn't protect you when you were being attacked by people for what was going
listen, the child was conceived when we weren't together. We had broken up for 8 months. That's the reason why I didn't flip out about it, because stuff happens, and I'm a very reasonable woman. For me, it was, how private I am, and how sensitive I am, and how emotional I am. You need to say something. And he personally handles, he doesn't even really stand up for himself publicly, so I know how he operates, but it became something where I was like, you need to do something about it.
He stood up for himself with Viacom, though.
Absolutely, he did.
Very profoundly.
Yeah, he did.
So was he going through that at the same time this was happening?
And I was there with him. So for me, being the lover that I am, I put all that aside and was still there to support him. I flew out here to be with him when he was going through all that.
When Brittany Bell posted that she was pregnant with a second child, did you feel that she did that as a way of becoming a wedge between you two?
I don't know. You have to ask her.
But the timing was interesting. If she was aware that as a woman you were going through such a loss, and then to go and do that, and Nick didn't even come out and say that he had a kid on the way.
You have to ask her.
That smile, as a woman, I know that smile so much. That smile, yeah.
Well, they recently just took pictures at her baby shower where she was sitting on his lap and looking like a perfect family. What did you think about that?
I didn't see that. I'm just now hearing about this.
I'll send it to you.
I don't want it.
Okay.
I feel the same way I feel about me going to be at Thanksgiving with my new partner.
Yeah.
Happy.
So do you want to tell us? Well, I'll say this. And this is how you know I'm a real friend. Like, I know who it is, and I want her to say the name, but she's not going to, right? Okay.
Not yet.
But you'll tell me first.
I'll tell you first.
How did this come about? I don't see you as a person on Tinder, or maybe you are. How did you find this new partner?
Jessica found this one on Tinder.
Yeah. What is your way of?
You keeping secrets?
I am patiently waiting for the information to share.
So how did you find this person?
You can trust us.
I met him 2 years ago, and I was still in love with Nick, and it just wasn't the right time. And then one of my friends, I was hanging out with her, who was best friends with him, was like, "You guys really had something. I think you should like consider." And I was like, "Well, I'm available and free now, so why not?" And we just hit it off.
So going back really quick to Nick. So when you all were together for around 6, 7 years, a pretty long period of time, and I know he just recently, well, Brittany Bell just recently came out that she had her second child with him. He had another one before that. How did that happen, and how did you forgive that?
We weren't together.
Okay.
We weren't together. It was 2016. We were broken up for a full year. He contacted me and we started back talking like April of 2017.
But Nick Cannon doesn't seem like the. I mean, I know Nick. Nick is a very like one of the most solid people I know, and he's a solid guy.
Absolutely.
He don't seem like the type just going around having breakup babies.
But
Like, cause like now this sounds like we're gonna take a break. Oh, have a baby. We're gonna take a break. Ooh,
well,
have a
I'm just
baby.
saying we weren't together at that time. You asked me the question, how
Yes.
did I forgive it? We weren't together.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that he had breakup babies. I'm just saying I wasn't in his life.
But weren't you weren't together the second kid, right?
No, we were broken up for 8
So
months.
why not forgive him that time too?
I told you I did.
Oh, you
and
did.
then went home and was like, I'm not gonna be able to see more Christmas photos now with the second baby. These are just questions and things you have to like be real with yourself.
yeah.
Throughout the relationship, was it him coming back for you, or how
Yeah.
did y'all? Okay.
Yeah. We loved each other, so it wouldn't take too much time. We would reach out to each other. I might start an argument or something, and then we'd be back talking.
Now, for other young women who are out there in love, caught up in a man who she sees her future in his eyes, as
Oh,
one
child, I
of
know
these
that
tired
story.
ass slow songs says.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find the courage to walk away, especially for somebody who is so amazing and powerful?
You just walk away. You really mean it. I didn't mean it the other times, but this time I meant it. So it was kind of easy. My mind was like, all right, we're going to do this. And it made it really good to be surrounded by good loved ones and people who every single day reminded me not to go back.
Now, people have said that Brittany Bell is crazy. I mean, this is what I hear. I seen her one time at a buffet. I was trying to get crab legs, didn't really get to know her. I on the outside just kind of look at how the announcement came out as really shady.
The timing?
You're not angry? Like, there's no sense of, like, you
No,
because you have the right to be mad, right?
I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm so disattached from it. And it would be a different thing if I still wanted the relationship. But I don't. So I'm not upset with it. I'm very clear about my feelings are not attached anymore. Had my feelings been attached, I'm sure this would be a different interview. It's just not the case for me. When I said those soul ties have been severed on behalf of me and him, emotionally, I'll always care for him. But it's matured,
But initially, weren't you like, that's now, but initially when you saw
Initially,
it
I
3
was
minutes
more, I
afterwards.
was so concerned about him and I and what was about to happen with our relationship, because you have to understand, me and him for the first time ever,
We're good.
we're happy and we were getting along. We had learned how to have arguments, disagreements. We had really got through all of our growing pains, and then all of a sudden it was like, this is where I'm going, and my ancestors were like, no, you're not. So it came out of nowhere. So I was really trying to what's going to happen with him and I. Like, even during my birthday, I would leave and go away, go to the bathroom and cry. I had to get a lot together. So I wasn't able to really process all of it right away.
But in the alternate universe, then, if Nick had written a post as beautiful and declarative as the one that you had written, and had put a stake in the ground, like, this is my woman, don't talk to her like that, I stand with her, it almost feels like you guys would still be together right now.
Well, you have to, I'm not taking up for him by any means.
Right.
But you have to understand, the woman's pregnant. That is the mother of his children.
But you had just lost yours.
But you had just lost a child as
know,
well.
but
No, but you had just lost yours.
I know this.
So how does
I understand
that come
that,
before?
but he can't. He's not going to do that. He has a child. He
But
loves
declaring his
Golden.
love for you doesn't take away from his respect
He
for her.
made his decision though, and that was his
You're a
decision.
better
And
person
I
than me.
totally can understand it. And because I am an aunt and I love children, I understand the dynamic. I really do. Like I said before, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have stood up for me. He should have. He should have found a way to do it, and he chose not to. That was his decision.
If he would have done it,
It's not going to affect me moving forward.
that's what I was going to ask. If he would have done it, if he would have stood up for you publicly, would you still be with him?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I really don't, to be honest with you. I just believe that it was time to for that relationship to come to an end, because it did in the way that it happened. Like, it just made it easy for me to say, okay, I have to really choose myself and give love a second chance. And I didn't think I'd even be excited about love again. And, you know, these new emotions are arising and I'm feeling excited about a guy. And so I really do feel like I'm happy all that happened.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I am.
So it didn't break you, not even for a moment?
Well, because I would still have to deal with that. I would still have to deal with a baby mother. I don't have to deal with that anymore.
With your current
That you know.
No, not with her current situation.
I don't have to deal with that because he's a grown man and he knows how to, you know, keep things together. I don't have to deal with that. I'm not dealing with that.
I don't know who he is.
A baby mama. And, you know, and now the baby mama doesn't seem to have a ring on her finger, nor does she seem that the home she's appearing to have built and happy at that is not really that.
I don't know. Maybe they are happy, though, you know?
Maybe not.
I wish the best for them. I'm happy, so I want happiness for everybody. I do.
Now, where does that level of positivity come from? Because, see, for me, I wrote a chapter in my book. It was called Death and Destruction. Although it didn't apply to a relationship, now when I think back of some of my exes, there's a couple of those chapters that could have existed, because although I'm happy when we all move on, if you betray me in a certain way, I don't want you to be happy. Like, I want everything in your world to be dark and gloomy.
Jason, that is not evolved.
That's just, it is what it is. I mean, like,
with a straight face.
my point is that where does that strength and like positivity come from? And please don't say witchcraft, because I can't.
No,
Jason.
What are you talking about? Where did that come from? Life is too beautiful for me to spend the only time I get to be Jessica White on this earth, you know, putting all that attention on other things, other people. I'd rather spend it making love, and that's why I'm a great lover. I don't want to fight. You know.
So you're not bisexual, right?
I have been in the past, for sure.
I have. Oh. Okay.
So I don't know if I would consider that being bisexual or just loving beautiful things.
Flexible.
Yeah.
Was that more like experiential, but not like you're not going to get in a full relationship?
I would never get in a relationship with a woman, but I have had female lovers, yes.
Do you find the emotional relationship with women is very different than one with a man?
I've never had an emotional relationship with women.
It was just drinks at the Abbey and we're going to have a good time?
Sexual, always.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I told you, there's this beautiful, soft, kind creature, but there's that sexual energy that'll get your ass.
She has sex.
You know?
Very clear, Jason.
Okay, so no, but you can have sex and not be sexual. Let's be very clear.
Absolutely.
You can have sex.
That's terrible.
No. You can have good sex and not be a sexual person. Because some people, you know I have a friend who is super ultra busy and he schedules sex. And he loves to have sex.
But he schedules it.
But he schedules it. And I'm like,
horrible.
You're not a scheduled person, because my ass I'd be scheduling my life around my sex. And I just flow through, you know what I mean? Shit.
We've met you, yes. We are very clear. Everybody here is like, yes, we're very clear.
What do you think about the people who were around you in your relationship with Nick who kind of abandoned you or judged you or took sides? When you look at those people now, do you go, wow?
No. Because I knew.
Did you?
Yeah, of course.
How did you know?
Because I'm very intuitive. I know. I wasn't shocked by anything that played out. The way it played out, I knew.
But didn't you expect somebody to say something? I mean,
no. I expected what happened for it to have happened the way it played out.
And you're not mad at those people either?
Not at all. And that's the honest to God truth.
Damn. You're so much better than me.
This is like Game of Thrones. You were Cersei. That's amazing. She was like, I knew you were nothing when I met you. So all this nothingness.
I'm not saying that. I just
all this
think
nothingness is what I expected.
I just think that, it was a very intense relationship and everyone was involved. And so when it ended, I think everybody needed a break.
Do you feel like people were relieved when it happened to be over?
I don't know. You have to ask them.
Were people threatened by your relationship with Nick?
I don't know. You have to ask them.
Well, they ain't here. You are.
You know them. Ask them.
Did you feel that people were threatened by your relationship with Nick?
She answered.
Because I know, having been around Floyd Mayweather, very closely, I do see how people are very threatened by our friendship because I can't be so honest with him about what I think, what I see, what I feel. And there's been times where they've been like, we need to get him away from the camp, because I'll say, what value does this person bring? Why is this person still here? Wait, this person did what? And You know, so I would assume.
I was a truthful source in Nick's life. Very much what you see is what you get. I was a challenger of all, so I'm sure they probably were like, he's still like really dealing with this girl.
When you look at and this is the last question about Nick, we can move on, but when you look at the end of the relationship, do you find any responsibility in it not working and him finding?
No, I gave it my all. I went back and forth with this for years trying to make it work. And then I thought we were at a place where it was going to work. So I went back another time thinking that it was going to work. We both did, actually. And then that happened. So there's nothing you can do with the universe saying, no. Did you really need one more time? Okay, we're going to give you this one more time.
So
They gave me that one more time, and my ancestors were like, here you go, surprise.
I've said this, and I know you're very deep in thought when it comes to your life, and I know you are too. I don't know about you yet, but you're getting there. I always say that there has to be like some foundational rules for how you live and how you move, right? One of mine is life doesn't go in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
A relationship, a business deal or business partnership that ends badly, right?
Mm-hmm.
A friendship, stuff like that. Do you look at that and think, maybe just going back wasn't the best idea?
I thought maybe I could have not gone back in 2015 after like one of our first big arguments.
What was that about?
Wow.
It had something to do with a girl, and the reason why we took like, I don't know, a few months off from each other, but I looked at that as a very pivotal moment. It was early on, I saw.
And
before Brittany was in the picture, anything.
And did you ignore that sign?
I did.
Because,
and I believe that's when I kind of got off path.
Because you were blinded by love, or because you thought it would change, or you believed in him?
All of it, yeah. I really did believe in him. Nick was like the first guy I actually really truly opened up with. Like every other guy always had like strong, I was able to truly be myself for the first time with a male counterpart, and I think that was kind of our thing. We really got along. We bonded because we grew up very similar.
I just thought something hearing you answer Jason's last question. You guys both agree that Nick is a great guy, but then the story seems to be telling us that monogamy.
But he's very open about that.
Yeah, is not his bag.
Yeah, he's very open.
I think great guys can have flaws.
Yeah, exactly. So my question is, do you think that for him moving forward, it would just make sense for him to be in open relationships so that this is no longer...
He has been.
Yeah.
But only open relationships, though.
But he has been. I wasn't confused by the certain women that were around.
Oh, so you guys had an open relationship as well?
Yeah, very much
Okay.
new. But we
open both ways?
No. We never did anything. We never brought anybody.
No,
in the
meaning you could be open too.
No.
See,
that would be
that's not open.
hell
That's
freezing
open-ish.
over.
That's not open.
That man was not letting that happen.
Okay, that's not open.
No, well, it was open on his end.
What?
Oh, wait.
No, wait. I have a question. For that.
So you're the heterosexual man that don't want the other heterosexual man to get
Right.
slammed for not allowing it to be both ways. Because I know you got to protect the bro code. But go ahead.
Me and Jason both agree on this one. Go ahead.
On behalf of all women and gay people,
Thank you.
Y'all caught that bullshit. But go ahead, Damage.
How the hell you? What has nothing to do with that?
Speak for the straight man.
What I was going to say is, since we're on this subject, what made you be so open to that kind of arrangement, where it is just one-sided?
I loved him.
Damn.
Oh, that's a magical...
Was that all it was?
That's a magical...
Your
Yeah.
DMs her DMs are about
just
to
trying
be
to understand.
lit.
I loved him.
They are.
Because one day I might want to have a similar...
A one-way open
No, I'm just
relationship?
But the
playing.
thing is, I didn't want to be with another guy. Like I couldn't imagine sleeping with another man. He was who I wanted. I was like, I'm in love with him, so it's fine. He gave me everything I wanted. I never got a no from the man. Whenever I wanted time, when I wanted trips, like we were together. It was just a
So you
different
added a little
kind of
something there.
relationship.
But
Yeah,
that
You
takes
add a
us.
little something there.
That
Okay.
takes a certain level of maturity, though, and what is it? I don't want to say confidence. Maybe it is confidence.
Yeah, it is. But we used
right?
to have conversation. I'd be like, that girl wears too much makeup. She's making us all look bad. Like,
But that's the beauty of it, because you also are attracted to women too. So it's like you can maybe
yeah, but I
kinda-
wasn't. Well, we did talk about it, but I wasn't interested in bringing other people into the. It was just he and I. It would be way too much. He wouldn't be able to handle.
But I know your
Man.
DMs are going to be lit, although the person she's with now is going to make her ignore all of them. But
Absolutely.
your DMs are going to be lit when men hear a woman say, I can be a confident woman in a relationship with a man who's having other relationships with other women.
As long as I knew about them, I was fine. And as long as they understood, like, you know.
Not to
Number
disrespect you and what you guys had.
Right. I was fine. Just don't bring it around me. I don't want to see it. But
And
I was very much aware, so I wanted to know the truth as well. What was the level of it? Now, if there's certain things that I didn't like, we would have it out.
And I love how you're telling your truth without bashing him too. You know, because
I love him. It's nothing, you know, it just needed to come to an end. But our relationship was what we built, is what worked for us, you know? Let's see if he finds that again.
Ooh.
And if he never, I caught that too.
Yeah.
And if he never publicly defends you,
he doesn't have to now, because I'm defending myself and I'm moved on from it. And the next man I'm with, we won't have these problems.
Well, the man you're with.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I mean, if you're spending holidays with the person that we both know we're talking about, nobody else does.
You are getting so close to this.
No, I'm not burning that, because we've sat down and
leaving Monday.
We sat down and we talked about that when it's time.
I'm going to give it to you.
She's going to tell me, and I can't wait.
I'm going to give it to you.
No, because I'm happy that you're happy.
Yes, me too.
When I saw all of what was happening online, it's always interesting to watch public people that I know go through their trial, and it's like, y'all don't even fucking know these people. You know what I mean? And the same with Nick. You know, maybe blame it on a weak pullout game. Maybe he didn't have no condoms. Maybe Brittany popped it. Maybe Brittany preyed on it. I don't know. Her spirit to me is very interesting. But
interesting. Why do you say interesting?
Well, I think she's happy to be there. I think she's happy to have set up a pretty good situation. They have a beautiful kid who's smart as hell, speaks like multiple languages. And I love how Nick is a great father. And he doesn't seem like the type of person who would abandon his responsibilities, which is kind of interesting that he abandoned you, you know? And Nick is my employer for one of my jobs. And I'm just being honest. And I hopefully would appreciate just we're having an honest dialogue. And you're invited to the show. But I love the fact that, you are just clearing the air for yourself.
It's all about me. And he played a major part of that story, which I'm hoping that the clarity is I don't ever have to fucking have this conversation again. Can I say fuck on the show?
Absolutely.
I really don't want to have this conversation anymore. And I really wanted to give you the interview because you knew about the relationship, so I didn't have to overly explain.
And you didn't have to do it, and I know you did it because it was me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I love you.
I love our relationship.
Yeah.
And I do love the one thing that we were talking about recently too is how protective that you are of the people that you care about. We were at the Abbey one time, and I forgot what it was. Somebody had did something to me, and I didn't even have time to get mad because you wanted to kill them first.
I'm a Cancer. We battle for our love.
And I was like, okay, she really is a writer, and that's what made me reach out to interview you now, because nobody wrote for you, and I didn't understand
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love you. Thank you.
Even though you don't need it from Nick, and I love that you don't need it, it still feels good to have somebody outside of you acknowledge what you all saw.
Absolutely.
Even if it's Jason and having a friend do it,
well, yeah.
It does feel good to have somebody else say the obvious.
Absolutely.
I have been a product of people loving me and caring about me and then abandoning me when it was the popular thing to do,
Right.
or when the person they were really loyal to, I'm out too. I've been that person many
feeling.
times.
But you know what? God sets you up for certain things. And unfortunately, uncomfortable things have to happen for the blessing. That didn't stop anything. It really just embarked me on the journey I was supposed to be on. It started everything for me. I've never been this happy. The person I am right now, I'm at my happiest. And I appreciate all of that happening. I really do. And I wouldn't change it for anything.
And you left.
Yeah. I left.
So now you retired from modeling?
I'm working on my first film. I wrote a short film, actually. I wrote a short film. It's called The Devil's Angel. It's starring myself and Nick Cannon, but that might not see the light of day. It was just about our relationship.
You shot it already?
Yeah, we shot it a while ago.
It absolutely has to come out.
Oh, you have to, honey.
No, we won't be releasing that. It was for one of his projects. It was a short film. It's just a bit inappropriate now.
But you can change it.
No.
But you can.
The ending could,
No. It probably is going to get scrapped, for sure.
No, don't scrap it. You save it. You just never know.
Yeah, I know.
You never know.
Can you imagine me being married with kids and that movie comes out? It's a bit much.
Is it really?
What's the details?
Is it like a documentary?
No, it's a full-on movie about it's just me and him in the film, trapped in a hotel room.
Oh.
Sexual too, right?
It's a lot going on in that film.
I want to see it. Release the tapes. So you're not abandoning modeling then?
No, I think you just do it all. For me, I'm working on a very big film. I've teamed up with the family of Donna Luna to get her story told. She was the first African American supermodel, and that's going to be my first feature film.
Nice.
And I'm really just trying to make sure that I want to be more behind the scenes and more instead of being solely in front of the camera. So I'm not abandoning anything. I think people, when they see me, they're always going to see fashion. And although I want to do designing and certain things like that, it's just you're not gonna see me walking on runway shows unless it's something I just can't say no to.
Well, in the new relationship you're in, I'm sure you can get some help, right?
Oh, this man,
I'm gonna leave it alone.
I gotta go.
Are you excited for the holidays to spend this? I mean, because it's a lot of pressure to go spend the holidays with a new boo and their family.
Oh, the
No.
family gonna be there too?
Oh, the family too?
Yeah, no, I'm not nervous. Families love me.
But you don't, I mean, that's a big
Like
step.
I'll pull out my yes ma'am, no ma'am. No,
Really?
no, yeah.
Wait, where are you from?
My mother's from the South.
Okay.
I'm from New York,
bring
but I
in-
was raised on, Southern values.
Bringing some dishes, maybe.
I
Cooking
can
up something?
cook, absolutely.
Can you cook?
I can really throw down.
Like,
I'm very
really?
domesticated.
I
I can
really
cook my
Like
butt
with
off.
seasoning?
Creole. I'm
Really?
Creole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because some people can
You said,
cook.
you said with
When I
that's
look at
not
her, I see
cooking.
she's-
Some people can cook, but then you be like, okay, this is a little.
No, you can
No,
ask
that's-
everybody.
that's
Hey,
not
I cook
cooking.
for everybody in this house all the time.
Really?
That's not how
Yeah.
cooking works if it's no seasoning.
No,
I
I'm
see
a great
seasoning in
cook.
her eyes.
That's
I
a
see it.
casserole or something. That's
See
that's
it.
a salad.
But I'm
if
like
there's
one
no
of those
seasoning.
old Southern mamas. I'm making meatloaf and, collard greens, lima beans. Like I cook Southern
Can you make
food.
mac and cheese, though?
You know what? I'm not going to lie. Mac and cheese,
Oh.
I can't seem to get the cheese right. And I
Yeah.
burn the cheese every
Velveeta.
single
You got to
time.
get the Velveeta.
My sister uses Velveeta, but I end up burning the cheese.
You
She
need
makes her
Gouda too,
cheese
Jason.
sauce first, and it's like, it makes me depressed where I just, I'm not going to touch it.
I don't know how you make it. I want mine's a little burnt on the top. I like that.
I cannot make macaroni and cheese
you want
to
it
save
burnt?
my life.
Yeah, on the
That's-
top. Yeah.
The top
When
is
I
supposed
bake-
to be burnt, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
top
this is
is
what we
supposed to be
do.
burnt.
We'll cook it. We'll give Damage a piece. Then you get the little lighter thing. You light
Torch it.
yours. Torch yours.
No, what kind of mac and cheese?
Put it
you
on-
eat
put it
where
on
it's creamy?
broil.
Well, you know that I'm not losing all this weight. I ain't
Yeah,
really
he
eating that.
eats creamy.
I'm saying, yeah, the
I
yeah,
like
'cause-
baked
yeah,
macaroni.
the baked
Yes,
mac,
yes,
Yes.
yes.
supposed
Baked
to
mac,
be-
yes,
It
yes.
has to be baked.
That's my favorite.
But that's where you can put the little cheese blocks in that Velveeta cheese
yeah.
in
And
there.
to melt it.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Damn, I just got hungry.
Two of us are lactose intolerant, and we just spent 2
No,
minutes.
we're
on-
all
I'm
lactose
lactose
intolerant.
intolerant.
We're all of us are
Black people, you do know black people.
Yes, but they call it the bubble guts. We like
Oh,
to
no,
lie to
no.
ourselves. Black people, if you have bubble guts, you're lactose intolerant. This is a
Listen.
special word from Hollywood Unlocked.
I'm
Listen,
definitely
I
lactose.
am also. Okay, well, look, I appreciate you, giving us this conversation, and I would hope that, I just hope it serves as a testimony that one, when people are going through their private things, you don't know the whole story, so don't judge, and when you're going through a breakup, and then on top of that, had just come out of a miscarriage, and to have people that you don't even know
Well, that
be
was
so
my
mean.
second, by the way.
Yeah, but for people that you don't
It's
even know to be so
heartbreaking.
mean and not even have the empathy, it's
Well, you know what? It's a testament to me, so screw them.
this whole conversation is a testament to you being a strong ass black woman
Yeah, and forgiving and a very loving. And I'm just happy that I'm myself.
and have a fine ass successful boyfriend who you're gonna go spend the holidays with that I can't tell.
Yes, honey.
Well, I guess I gotta go because it's literally on the tip of my tongue.
Please just say it.
Bye.
Bye.